My people, what's going on, my people? So today, again, we're gonna bash somebody. So let's see. Who are we bashing today? We're gonna select. We are bashing Kenya. What's up, everybody? I hope you're doing good. It's a beautiful day. Thank you very much for stopping by. We are in Kenya. Yes, Kenya. Okay. Beautiful place, lovely people. But we're going to bash Kenya today for a little bit. You know, and they don't mind, okay? It's not like Nigeria. When you bash Nigerians, then they call you Mumu. But when you bash Nigerians, South Africans are happy. And when you bash South Africans, they get pissed off with you. They call you Kwere Kwere, Hamba or Kwere Kwere. And Nigerians are happy when you bash South Africa. But when you bash Kenya, Uganda, and all that, they don't mind. They're just like, okay, that's fine. It's cool. It's just, yeah, you know. The goal here is to bring everybody together. You know, it's not like, leave our country, you come to our country. Leave our country. No. You don't live in a country. Yeah, you don't live in a country. You have your neighborhood where you grew up. That's all that belongs to you. Actually, you don't even like your own neighborhood. Anyway, let's get back on track. We are in Kenya. Now, a government minister in Kenya said his child was also abducted.
And it is unfortunate, as most of the people being abducted and or killed are our youth, leaving the parents, relatives, and friends, other family members in a state of confusion and loss.
Did you hear that? So we've been talking about abductions in Kenya, people disappearing for voicing themselves up, for talking negatively about government. Sounds like China, doesn't it? I'm just being honest with you. In China, you can't criticize government. You're going to jail. Sometimes they unalive you. I don't know if that's the model we want to adopt. I'm not sure. Kenya is a lovely place, beautiful people, happy people. Have you been to Kenya before? You need to go visit. These stories we're hearing, it's not representative of Kenya, not at all. I had some of the best time ever. And the ladies were just straight like, hey, where are you from? Like, nice, really nice. I'm telling you, man. That's why do you think Americans, African Americans are running away from African America and coming to Kenya? You know, African Americans are not liking black African Americans. That's a lot because they say they're very masculine, too independent, too strong, disrespectful. So they're coming to Kenya and Ghana. But a lot of them like Kenya because Kenya is a little bit of a New York in Africa. You know, it's a beautiful place. Anyway, fellas, now, in Kenya, there have been a lot of cases about abductment, whatever you call it. Abduction, sorry. It's not my language. So many people have been abducted for criticizing government. Now, to the surprise of everybody, a Kenyan government minister has alleged that the country's National Intelligence Agency was behind the abduction of his son last year, as criticism against the rising cases of abduction continues.
My statement with the DCI explains the various steps that I took to secure his release.
A minister's son was abducted, as per the minister. I'm not saying this again. If you want to bash somebody, you're going to bash the minister that's complaining how his son was abducted by security agencies. Now, you're going to ask yourself a question. Why would security agencies abduct a child of a minister? I mean, they surely, if they are a security agency, they know who every minister's child are. Even the children that are hidden, you know, the ones you have with the third wife, the fourth wife, or the side chick. They know everything. But they've kept that boy in prison, you know, in isolation for a long time. And this minister has been very, very worried about his son. Okay. They did that because the minister also criticized the government a while back. Now, at least 80 people, including the minister's son, have been abducted in the last 6 months. This is a report. The wave of abduction started after protests against tax hikes last June and have continued since then. So for context, fellas, you know, William Ruto is this beautiful, good-looking president from Africa that gave a lot of us a lot of hopes because he said when he came into power, hey, fellas, we should drop the American dollars because why do I need American dollars if I want to buy something from Rwanda or from Burundi or from Kenya or wherever? I mean, why would you need to use American dollars to buy something from Nigeria if you're from Ghana? It doesn't make sense. Why can't you just use your local money and evaluate whatever?
Why, members? Why is it necessary for us to buy things from Djibouti and pay in dollars? Why? There is no reason. And we are not against the US dollar. We just want to trade much more freely. Let us pay in US dollars what we are buying from the US. But what we are buying from Djibouti, let's use local currency. Traders in our continent can trade in their goods and services, and the Africa Exim Bank will settle payments in local currency.
That was Ruto's idea. And we were like, yeah, William Ruto. All of Africa was happy about Ruto. You know, this man comes with different ideas. We need to create a system where it was amazing. Well, until Ruto took trips to overseas, whichever country he went to. So now Ruto's changed. He doesn't talk about that anymore. You know, he met Joe Biden a while back and they, received him in big pomp. He took an airplane he rented for millions of dollars. And the Biden administration had all these decorations for an African president. This has not happened in a long, long time. Well, then later on, Kenyan military or Kenyan police were sent to Haiti for the United Nations. I mean, this is a place where Americans could have gone, but because people are tired of American interventions, it feels like invading other people's politics. Oh, let's find some black people in Africa to go deal with other black people so it doesn't look too racist. Yeah, then the government of Kenya will get some money from the United Nations. So basically, the Ruto we saw before election, or the Ruto in the beginning that was talking about, let's exchange our own currencies, not use the dollar. Let's open the border. He said you can come to Kenya for free. No more need for visa.
As president of this extraordinary country, to make a historic announcement of the decision of the government of Kenya. Beginning January 2024, Kenya will be a visa-free country. It shall no longer be necessary for any person from any corner of the globe to carry the burden of applying for a visa to come to Kenya.
Everybody went like, yes, Ruto. Who is this amazing man coming up with all these ideas? You can travel to the next African country with no visa. Amazing. I know the Nigerians were happy because then, no, let's not talk about Nigeria. Okay. It's not about Nigerians today. And then later on, something came up. Well, no more free visa. You need to announce yourself and send money before you come. I mean, we thought you said free visa. Well, doesn't that sound like a visa? If you have to announce yourself, send your details and pay money, wait a couple of days to get the response before you come. A bit disappointing for many people. Now, a while back, Kenyans came down the street, revolting and being very angry because of a law that was about to be passed. The law would charge people extra money or tax on very simple utilities such as food, bread, tax on women pads. You see that pad women use here when they want, I don't know what they use it for, but yeah, put a tax on that. So you paid extra money. If you want to go to hospital to get treated for cancer, you have to pay an extra tax for cancer. Like cancer people have extra money to spend. It's just crazy. So the Kenyan people went down the street. They were very angry. No, we're not going to accept this. They inspired many Africans. Kenyans are not scared. Well, it didn't come without consequences. Many people were abducted and some were unalived. Very sad. And up until now, some people talk about 80 people have disappeared or abducted. So the number we don't know. Now, this minister also criticized government in many, many instances. And his son also disappeared. Now, later on, after putting a lot of pressure, you remember, a lot of pressure on Ruto, they asked him, where are the people? Why are people being abducted? He said, I don't know if people are abducted. I have no idea. I don't know anything about that. But we're going to make an effort for people to not be abducted anymore.
If there is a family, any family, that their child or their friend or their relative went to a demonstration, whether it is last year or this year, and never came back, I want to know the names, because I will take firm and decisive action. Because as I talk to you today, I don't have a single name of somebody who has been abducted or disappeared.
Well, I don't know if they're abducting people. It means I'm not aware of it. But we're going to make sure nobody is abducted or it stops. I don't know how I feel about those two sentences going together. Now, earlier this week, the minister told journalists that he did not receive answers about abduction of his son.
Now, more than 6 months later, after that ordeal and the release of my son by unknown forces, and the government at all levels has not been able to give me any explanation or reasons as to his abduction by hooded armed gangsters.
A minister, worrying about his son, despite reaching out to top security officials. So the minister called the top security officials with no answer. Minister Mutuli recalled calling Inspector General of the Police and the Interior Minister. The DCI head, the head of intelligence agency and other top officials has desperately looked for his son, but he headed all were unable to help. I mean, if the top officials such as Interior Minister, Inspector General of the Police, the intelligence agency head doesn't have answers to where your child is, well, that's a big question. Then he finally decided to reach out to William Ruto, sent him a text message. Later on, he said, you know what, let me just go to Ruto's house. He walked to Ruto's house, had a discussion. He said the president made a joke about the issue and then made a call to the head of intelligence agency, who promised to release his son in an hour. You heard that? So he told the president, hey, my son, I don't know where he is. The president made a joke, your son shouldn't be in the street. You need to educate your son. Then he made the phone call and the guy from the intelligence agency said, okay, we're going to release the son in an hour. The minister said, I heard the president ask the NIC director, Nordin Aji, if he was holding my son. He confirmed that indeed he was holding my son and the president instructed him to release Leslie immediately. That's what Muturi said. Muturi has faced some calls from government officials to resign for publicly criticizing the government in which he serves.
You see, public service, Mr. Speaker, is a calling, and I've said that many times. And you should be able to do it so long as you have been given an opportunity, majority leader. But when you feel a time has come, and you feel that the executive that you are part of, and you feel that the president that you are serving, and the government that you are serving, is not incompatible with the policies or your belief at the moment, at this point in time, is not compatible with the government you are serving, the best thing to do, Mr. Speaker, is to resign.
So other government officials have asked for him to resign because he criticized the government.
Given that you have portrayed yourself as a victim in the case of your son, are you considering resigning from cabinet?
As to what happens thereafter, I think we cross the Rubicon when we get there.
I mean, you're eating with us. I don't know if you are stealing with us, but why are you criticizing us? If you're criticizing us, it means you're probably not stealing, right? I mean, you can't be stealing and criticizing at the same time because it makes no sense. They say, but dude, but you ate. Unless they ate and then gave him, then because he was angry, then he decided to speak. Or maybe he's not interested in the food. I don't know. Now, how do you become a minister and stay a minister if you're criticizing the government? Doesn't the president have the power to just remove you? Question mark. These are things that you need to understand. In other words, the guy criticized the government. His child disappears. He looks for him for a full month, doesn't know. Ask the police, the chief of police, the minister of interior, the head of intelligence. Nobody knows. He sent a text message to the president. The president doesn't quite answer. He goes to the president's house, have a discussion with him face to face. At least he has the opportunity to do that. President makes a laugh about it. Your son has disappeared. Then makes a call in front of him and calls the chief of intelligence. And the chief of intelligence says, okay, sir, I've got his son. We can release him in an hour. But then it's the same Ruto that said, I'm not aware of anybody being abducted.
If there is a family, any family, that their child or their friend or their relative went to a demonstration, whether it is last year or this year, and never came back, I want to know the names, because I will take firm and decisive action. Because as I talk to you today, I don't have a single name of somebody who has been abducted or disappeared.
I'm just saying, I'm not inventing anything. I'm trying to put things together here. Like, does he know or he doesn't know? Can people voice themselves? Like, come in the street and say, listen, this is not what you promised us when you were running for elections. Can you do that in Africa? Like, why can't people just be happy in their own country? I'm just trying to understand. Until when Africa will be like little kingdoms? Like, can we just not cancel countries and people can be, let's just cancel countries. Everybody can become kingdoms so you can rule over yourselves like kings and kingships and stuff like that. So you can bow over you, Mr. King or Mr. President. If you choose democracy, then you need to act like a democracy. Kenya, again, is a beautiful place. It's a lovely place. Fellas, you go to Kenya, have fun. Don't get involved in anything. Don't talk about politics like that. Don't do that. Have fun. There's a lot of people, good-looking women, ladies are, oh my God, why do you think black Americans are there? Don't take advantage of those ladies. They know what they want. Kenyan women don't play, okay? If you think you're going to mistreat them or be acting weird with them and not be responsible, they're going to put you back in your space or they're going to empty your pocket first.